Hi, it's Kalani here with eXp Realty, and I wanted to bring you my professional insurance favorite agent in the Santa Cruz area to talk to you about the changes that we're seeing with State Farm, and possibly there's whispers of Allstate not writing new policies in California as of, I think, about a little over a week ago, the end of May. And so I wanted to let you know how that would affect you.
Definitely. I mean, this is the number one topic of conversation in real estate right now. You know, if I buy this home, am I going to be able to close on the property because I need to get insurance? And that's the number one question. So State Farm exiting the market is definitely a huge hit to consumers out there. State Farm offered amazing coverage. They had good pricing. They had great agents in the Santa Cruz area, and we had great relationships with a lot of State Farm agents, and they could write properties that no one else could. So with them out of the picture, we do have options. So we've always been able to write homes in high fire hazard areas. It's a little bit of a different process, and it takes a few different policies to get the coverage that you need and that you need to close on a loan. So the timeline's a little extended. I would say it takes at least a week because now we have to submit photos and they have to be time stamped and we have to do applications, and it's just a more in-depth process to get coverage, but we can always get coverage.
And we've done those. And I think you and I were both at a recent
WCR event.
Yeah, where they were talking about the new mapping in Santa Cruz. And so this is a big deal. And Tanner's here to take care of you. We've done several together. Yep. He was my hero about 5 years ago, and all my clients just love you.
Thank you.
And so now we have also, I want to touch about that, is the flood zone. I recently closed a property in the flood zone, and they needed pictures of the streets and different things like that. And when we were at a different meeting, you were talking about how even if you're not in a flood zone, taking the opportunity to get a policy to cover some of those areas that we don't think about that when we're in flatter areas. Can you share a little bit about that?
100%. You know, I think this year was a shocker to everyone in the Santa Cruz community and Santa Cruz County, Monterey, and beyond. We saw homes that were receiving flood damage that never, in a million years did we think we were going to flood. Yeah. So what we're recommending is you don't have to get a super beefy built out flood policy. Maybe you get a flood policy for, let's say, $20,000 worth of building coverage. When we do that, the pricing is a lot more affordable. We can get a small flood policy in the $500 per year range, and you get $20,000 worth of coverage. So if we have a winter like we had this winter, you're not stuck with the repairs on your own. At least you have some coverage.
Unexpected water damage that so many people that we were calling. I know that you and I were both calling all of our clients to make sure.
Yeah, you think a lot of the time, I only need flood insurance if I'm in a flood zone, and that's not necessarily the case, as we've seen. And if you're not in a flood zone, it's actually a lot more affordable to get that coverage because the insurance carriers see it as less of a risk. So you can get that coverage at a very affordable price just to give you that peace of mind. If we have another winter like we had this past winter, you're going to be okay.
And I bet you so many people wish they did have those,
Yeah, I can't. The amount of calls we had where they're like, "Oh yeah, I have flood damage," and we're like, "You don't have a flood policy. You have no coverage."
I'm certainly adding it to mine.
Yeah,
so.
I hate to have that phone call and be like, "You don't have the coverage." So it's always worth working with an individual or an agency that is looking at every angle of risk and not just figuring out the homeowners or the auto or whatever it may be. You want to really have a total risk protection outlook, especially in this area, just because we are susceptible to so many natural disasters that many areas of the country aren't. Right. Right. I know.
It keeps going. Well, this is Tanner, and if you didn't have a real or a insurance person, I probably referred and you've spoken to him. But if you have not, you can certainly contact me, and he can provide his information here at the end to help you with some questions that you might have or changing your policy. I mean, he's always available to me and to my clients. He has the best customer service and, of course, an award-winning personality. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Kaylani. And I will say every client that we've worked with together, it's been the best transaction that we can ask for. Yeah. So we know whenever a referral's coming in from you, it's going to be good people.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
All right.
Alrighty.